presidential election schedule announced. Voting be held on August 20, nomination paper submission deadline August 13, and last day for withdrawal August 18. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman instructs to quickly draft a coordinated action plan to prevent pollution in rivers around Dhaka, including Buriganga, and to take effective steps for its implementation. Bangladesh strongly protests India over giving fugitive and convicted genocidal perpetrator Sheikh Hasina a media platform in New Delhi. Government wants to create a permanent institutional framework to protect people's rights and prevent any return to authoritarian rule, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. July Memory Museum opens to public, enthusiastic response from visitors on first day. Gas supply to National Grid from Mahesh Khali's floating LNG terminal resumed, says Energy Minister. Deal with Oman regarding opening of Hormuz route in final stage. Talks with Tehran continue, says Trump. And in Darwin, after first day of three-day warm-up match cricket, Australia 11 trailing Bangladesh by 212 runs. Assalamu alaikum, this is Kimia Orin welcoming you to News at 10 and BTV News. You have just heard the highlights, now on to the details. The Election Commission (EC) today announced the schedule for the presidential election. EC Secretariat Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed announced the election schedule at the Election Commission Bhavan at Agargaon in the capital. According to the schedule, the last date for submission of nomination papers is August 13. Voting will be held on August 20 from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Jatiyo সংসদ Session Hall. Nomination papers must be submitted at the office of the Chief Election Commissioner between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on August 13. The scrutiny of nomination papers will be held at the EC Bhavan from 10 a.m. on August 16. The last date for withdrawal of candidature is until 4 p.m. on August 18. Akhtar Ahmed said voter list for the presidential election has been prepared. Other remaining administrative procedures will be completed before the election, he said. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman has instructed the authorities to take strict and coordinated measures to protect the Buriganga and other rivers around the capital. The Prime Minister made the remark while addressing a meeting titled Improvement of Water and Environment of the Buriganga River at the Bangladesh Secretariat today. The Prime Minister said there is no room for negligence in taking tough and coordinated measures to curb river pollution, stating that failure to act effectively now would leave the nation accountable to future generations. The meeting also decided to form an interagency coordination committee under the supervision of the Prime Minister's office to prepare and implement a coordinated, time-bound action plan for preventing pollution in the rivers surrounding the capital. The committee will coordinate the activities of the relevant ministries, divisions and agencies, periodically review progress and submit reports to the Prime Minister's office. The meeting reviewed the current environmental condition of the Buriganga, Turak, Balu, Shitalakha and other rivers adjacent to Dhaka, discussing major sources of pollution, existing challenges and long-term solutions. It identified untreated industrial effluents discharged into rivers, inadequate sewerage and drainage systems, reduced navigability of canals, and weak solid waste management as the major causes of river pollution. The meeting stressed ensuring the effective operation of effluent treatment plants (ETPS) at industrial establishments, improving canal and drainage systems, and conducting regular drives against polluters. It also underscored the need for strict enforcement of existing environmental laws and stronger coordination among the relevant government agencies. The participants further discussed measures to enhance public awareness and ensure greater citizen participation in river conservation efforts. The meeting attached special importance to coordinated action among the Department of Environment, Bangladesh Water Development Board, Dhaka Wasa, Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority, Rajuk, Dhaka North and South City Corporations, District Administration, and other relevant agencies. The Prime Minister also instructed the authorities to involve environmental organizations, voluntary groups, education institutions, and local communities with the initiative. LGRD and Cooperatives Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, Commerce Minister Khondokar Abdul Muqtadir, State Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Shaikh Faridul Islam, Commander of the Dhaka Naval Area Rear Admiral Abdullah Al Maksus, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister ABM Abdus Sattar, and senior officials of the relevant ministries and divisions attended the meeting. Prime Minister Tareq Rahman has stressed the need for adopting innovative and environmentally sustainable solutions to tackle riverbank erosion and asked the authorities to move forward with the use of vetiver grass to protect rivers, canals, embankments, and transport infrastructure. He gave the directive while chairing a meeting at the Cabinet Division in the Secretariat today on the use of vetiver grass for protecting river banks. He highlighted its potential to prevent erosion of river banks and canal embankments, protect coastal dikes, stabilize roads in Chor and Howrah areas, and safeguard roadsides and railway embankments. The presentation said vetiver grass could provide an effective, durable, and eco-friendly solution to erosion. It also noted that the grass has already been used experimentally at several locations in the country with encouraging results. The meeting also discussed implementing the initiative on a larger scale through dedicated projects. The Prime Minister appreciated such innovative and environment-friendly initiatives and instructed the relevant ministries and agencies to take necessary steps for the implementation. Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, Commerce Minister Khondokar Abdul Muqtadir, Water Resources Minister Shahiduddin Chaudhry Ani, Road Transport and Bridges Minister Shaikh Rabiul Alam, State Minister for Water Resources Farhad Hussain Azad, State Minister for Railways Habibur Rashid, Prime Minister's Principal Secretary ABM Abdus Sattar, Additional Press Secretary Atikur Rahman Rumon, and senior officials from the relevant ministries and divisions attended the meeting. A fifth-grade student from Rangpur saw her dream come true today as Prime Minister Tareq Rahman gifted her a harmonium and invited her to meet him after being touched by a letter she wrote expressing her love for music and inability to afford the instrument. Anusri Roy, a student of Purbo Nobonidash Government Primary School in Gangachar Upazila of Rangpur, met the Prime Minister at his office in the Cabinet Division of the Secretariat along with her parents. The young singer secured first place in patriotic songs and third place in Nazrul Songit at the National Primary Education Award 2026 competition. During the National Primary Education Award ceremony held at the Bangladesh-China Friendship Conference Center on July 15, Anusri handed a letter addressed to the Prime Minister to one of his officials. In the letter, she expressed her passion for music and requested a harmonium, saying her family could not afford to buy one. She also wrote about her wish to meet the Prime Minister. After reading the letter, Tareq Rahman invited Anusri and her family to meet him. I never believed the Prime Minister would actually read my letter and call me for a meeting, Anusri said after the meeting. Her father said the family had never imagined that the Prime Minister would personally invite and encourage their daughter. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Tareq Rahman also met Tabiul Islam Rakib, a security guard working at a private building in the Kuril Bisho Road area of Dhaka. Rakib said he had long wished to meet the Prime Minister and had even posted a video on social media declaring that he would not leave Dhaka until that dream came true. During the meeting, Rakib requested the Prime Minister to construct a bridge over the Panguchi River in his home area of Morelganj in Bagherhat, saying local residents have long suffered due to the lack of a bridge and frequent accidents during river crossings. On the occasion of the 42nd martyrdom anniversary of Rear Admiral Mahbub Ali Khan, a Dua Mahfil and Islamic discussion was organized today to seek forgiveness for his departed soul. The Dua Mahfil was arranged by his family at his residence Mahbub Bhavan in Dhanmondi after the Maghrib prayer. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman, the late Mahbub Ali Khan's daughter, and the Prime Minister's wife Dr. Zubaydah Rahman, Prime Minister's daughter Barrister Zaima Rahman, along with the late Admiral's family members and relatives, participated in this Dua Mahfil. Acting Speaker of the National Parliament, Barrister Kaisar Kamal, BNP Secretary General and Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, along with senior BNP leaders, members of the Cabinet, the Chief Whip and Whips of the National Parliament, members of Parliament, senior military and civil officials took part in the Dua Mahfil. During the event, prominent Islamic scholars of the country highlighted the life and works of the late Rear Admiral Mahbub Ali Khan. Later, prayers and supplications were offered, seeking forgiveness for the departed soul of the late Rear Admiral Mahbub Ali Khan. Simultaneously, prayers were also offered for the departed souls of the martyred President Zia Rahman, former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia, and Arafat Rahman Koko. Rear Admiral Mahbub Ali Khan is the father-in-law of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman.
সবাইকে মাগফিরাতের চাদরে ঢেকে নিন মাওলা মাহমুদ আলী খানের খবর সকলের কবরগুলোকে ইয়া আল্লাহ জান্নাতের নাজ ও নিয়ামত দ্বারা ভরপুর করে দিন সাল্লাল্লাহু তাআলা على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين 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 برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Bangladesh expressed outrage over fugitive disposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's live media interaction in New Delhi, saying the event was an affront to the country's sovereignty and detrimental to the development of harmonious bilateral relations with India. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Bangladesh was outraged that the absconding convicted genocider Sheikh Hasina had been allowed to engage in a live interaction with the media in New Delhi, where she and her associates launched venomous vitriol against the state of Bangladesh and her people. Dhaka said it deeply regrets that, despite conveying its concerns in advance to the government of India regarding the possible repercussions of the event on efforts to reset bilateral relations, the program was allowed to take place. The Foreign Ministry said the interaction held on the second anniversary of the July Revolution was an affront to the sovereignty of Bangladesh and a grievous insult to the martyrs of the July Revolution. It said the denial of facts established by the United Nations, including the killing of civilians, among them children, during the July-August 2024 events represented a futile attempt to rewrite history. Reaffirming the spirit of the July Revolution, the ministry said the people of Bangladesh had resolved that the country would never again go back to the dark days of fascism and would never be a client state. It added that Sheikh Hasina and her associates will never have a place in the polity of Bangladesh. The statement reiterated Bangladesh's commitment to maintaining a constructive, mutually beneficial and forward-looking relationship with India based on sovereign equality, mutual respect, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, and national dignity. However, the ministry expressed regret that Bangladesh's repeated request for the return of Sheikh Hasina under the Bangladesh-India extradition treaty signed in 2013 had not yet received a response. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zahiruddin Shapon has said government is working to establish a permanent institutional framework to ensure that no force can suppress people's rights or shackle the nation in future. He made the remarks as the chief guest at the unveiling ceremony of the book Shikol Bhangar Julai held at the conference room of Press Information Department to mark the second anniversary of the July mass uprising. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Yasir Khan Chaudhry, Acting Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Mohammad Shah Alam, and Principal Information Officer Syed Abdul Ahmed were also present at the event. Speaking on the occasion, the State Minister said that the government has undertaken various initiatives to preserve the history of the July mass uprising. Acting Speaker of the Jatiyo Shongshod Barrister Kaisar Kamal today joined a Dua and Milad Mahfil held at the Parliament Mosque seeking eternal peace of the departed souls of those martyred in the July mass uprising of 2024 and speedy recovery of the injured. Senior Imam of the Jatiyo Shongshod Secretariat Mosque, Muhammad Abu Raihan, conducted the Dua and Munajat. The program, organized by the Jatiyo Shongshod Secretariat after Zohar prayers, began with the recitation from the Holy Quran. Special prayers were offered for the forgiveness of the souls of the martyrs of the July mass uprising 2024 and for the swift recovery of those injured in the movement. The congregation also prayed for the forgiveness of the souls of Shohid President Zia Rahman, former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia, valiant freedom fighters, and those who sacrificed their lives in different democratic movements of the country. Prayers were also offered for the successful functioning of the Jatiyo Shongshod and for peace, unity, and prosperity of the Muslim Ummah. The July Memorial Museum has been opened to the general public from today to preserve the memories, sacrifices, and history of the July mass uprising and pass them on to future generations. On its first day, the museum drew an overwhelming number of visitors in the morning. People of all ages arrived with their families from different districts across the country. Some came to learn about the nation's history, others to pay tribute to the martyrs, while many wanted to introduce their children to the true history of the mass uprising. Visitors said the sacrifices of those who gave their lives for the country should never be forgotten. They believe the museum will play a vital role in preserving that history and educating future generations about the events of the uprising. Many parents travel from Chattogram, Rajshahi and Khulna with their families to help their children understand the sacrifices that brought about change. The July Memorial Museum is more than a place of remembrance. It serves as a living educational space where visitors can learn about democracy, justice, rights, and the sacrifices made during the uprising. Visitors also expressed the view that, alongside preserving history, the initiative will help foster patriotism, civic responsibility, and independent thinking. The museum will remain open to visitors every day from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an entry fee of 50 taka. The enthusiastic public turnout on the opening day reflects the growing interest in learning about the history of the July mass uprising. Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Minister Iqbal Hassan Mahmood has said gas supply across the country is expected to return to normal within the next 2 to 3 days as the Floating Storage and Regasification Unit FSRU has resumed operations. The minister said this while talking to reporters at his ministry office in the capital today. He said gas supply was disrupted due to a technical fault in the FSRU, which was fixed this afternoon. He also said the temporary gas shortage had affected electricity generation, resulting in load shedding in different parts across the country as several power plants were forced to shut down due to the shortage. Referring to complaints about unusually high electricity bills, he urged consumers to submit their bills for verification. The authorities asked consumers to submit their bills, but many did not follow the instructions, he said, adding that electricity tariffs were revised for the June-July billing period. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Abdul Awal Mintu has said Shohid President Ziaur Rahman was the first to call for a green revolution in the country. The minister said this while launching a month-long tree plantation program 2026 at Dhaka 18 constituency at Nawab Habibullah School and College premises at Uttara in the capital today. The architect of modern Bangladesh, Shohid President Ziaur Rahman, taught common men how to build a self-reliant nation by loving nature through strengthening rural economy, canal digging programs, and extensive tree plantation campaigns, he added. The minister called upon every family, educational institutions, youth and youth organizations to plant at least one tree and take care of them regularly. He expressed optimism that through collective efforts, target of increasing the country's tree cover to 27% by 2035 can be achieved ahead of schedule. Speaking as special guest, State Minister for Youth and Sports Muhammad Aminul Haq urged everyone to pay attention to the Prime Minister's commitment to planting 24 crore trees within 5 years as part of implementing the current government's election manifesto. Prime Minister's political advisor and BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi has alleged that Sheikh Hasina was given opportunity to deliver a political speech as part of a planned arrangement by Indian policymakers. He made the remarks while briefing journalists today after placing wreaths and reciting Fatiha at the graves of BNP founder and Shohid President Ziaur Rahman and former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia, marking the anniversary of the Doctors Association of Bangladesh (DAB). Ruhul Kabir Rizvi said, allowing Sheikh Hasina to deliver a speech from New Delhi on the day the Awami League government fell amounted to interference in Bangladesh's internal affairs and was a direct affront to the country's national sovereignty. He also expressed strong anger and dissatisfaction over India allowing Sheikh Hasina, who is currently staying there, to make political statements. International Crimes Tribunal 2 has concluded the second day of closing arguments today against 7 accused, including Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir and Chhatro League leader Saddam Hussein, in a crimes against humanity case linked to the July uprising. Prosecutor Ghazi M.H. Tamim presented the prosecution's arguments before the tribunal led by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhry. The tribunal fixed next Sunday for the remaining closing arguments in the case. Earlier, the same tribunal deferred the hearing in the case over the killing of 6 people, including Jatiotabadi Chhatrodol leader Wasim in Chattogram. Meanwhile, International Crimes Tribunal 1 continued recording testimonies in the case over the killing of 9 people in Mohammadpur against 28 accused, including Awami League leaders Jahangir Kobir Nanok and Sheikh Fazle Nur Taposh. 2 relatives of martyred Raju Ahmed testified in the case. A total of 12 arrested accused in different cases were produced before the tribunals this morning. Later, Prosecutor Ghazi M.H. Tamim briefed journalists on the progress of the cases after the day's proceedings. Moving on to international news.